Even though we don't know everything, we're always learning more about the human body and mind, especially when it comes to mental health.
Life sucks. And then it gets better, and then it sucks again, and then it just sucks.
Take schizophrenia. It's gone from being one of the most misunderstood, hidden mental conditions to something people are less afraid to talk about. So today, in addition to breaking down the topic of schizophrenia, we're going to hear from someone who really has it. My guest today, Ashley, is here to talk to me about her life, clear up some misconceptions, and share insight with us about what it's like to live with schizophrenia. I'm Tori, and this is the TMI Show. First, a little Schizophrenia 101 from our friends at the Cleveland Clinic. About 3 million people in the US have schizophrenia. It's a type of mental illness known as a psychotic disorder. These illnesses make it difficult or impossible for someone to distinguish what's real from what's in their imagination. So symptoms can be anything from seeing, hearing, smelling, or physically feeling things that aren't real, and having false beliefs that aren't based on reality. Schizophrenia can also cause very confused thoughts, where the brain rapidly shifts from one idea to the next. That makes conversation come out in a way that doesn't make sense to other people. People with the illness can have emotions, thoughts, and moods that don't sync up with what's really happening around them. Interestingly, there are different kinds of schizophrenia. Paranoid schizophrenia is probably the most familiar. This is when a person falsely believes they're being persecuted or being punished by someone, or that they've been specially chosen to complete a secret mission. People with paranoid schizophrenia can have a number of different false beliefs. Those are just a few examples. Other types of schizophrenia include catatonic schizophrenia, where it can be difficult to move or speak, and disorganized schizophrenia, where thoughts and speech can be extremely jumbled. Schizoaffective disorder is similar to schizophrenia, but has features of both schizophrenia and a mood disorder, like major depression or bipolar disorder. What causes schizophrenia is somewhat of a mystery, but it's likely a combination of genetics and abnormalities in brain chemistry that control thinking, understanding, and personality. It can take a while to diagnose schizophrenia. It doesn't develop overnight. Symptoms typically worsen over months and even years. But when schizophrenia is suspected, a doctor might first rule out any other physical illness that might be causing the symptoms with blood tests or imaging tests like MRIs or CT scans. Then a mental health professional will use specially designed interview and assessment tools, as well as observation, to evaluate a person for schizophrenia. The main types of treatment are counseling and medicines to lessen or stop psychotic symptoms. In milder cases of schizophrenia, medications may not be needed. But enough from me. To give us insight into what it's really like to live with schizophrenia, I sat down with Ashley to learn more. Hey Ashley, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your experience with schizophrenia.
Thank you so much for having me.
First, start from the beginning and tell us a little bit about yourself and what it was like before you were diagnosed.
Prior to my diagnosis, I was very active in academics and sports. I've been in a wide range of sports: volleyball, basketball, track and field, cross country, this goes on and on. I was on the dean's list my freshman year. And after that, my grades started gradually going down, and I eventually dropped out of school my junior year of the university.
So you were living a full life. So when did these symptoms start, and what were the symptoms?
I dropped out in March 2007, and then I was arrested and jailed in June 2007. During those months, I relocated from Atlanta to San Diego to regroup and take a break from school. Unfortunately, the symptoms got progressively worse. I had hallucinations, seeing and hearing things that other people did not experience. I even thought I was Jesus Christ at one moment. I thought I could read people's minds, they could read my mind, and I was extremely anxious and paranoid. The list of symptoms goes on and on and on.
I can't imagine experiencing these symptoms as well as the levels of stress that you're describing. What events led up to your diagnosis?
The incident that led to my diagnosis was where I had taken a truck from the airport and went on a high-speed chase with the police. And that's what I was arrested for. And while I was in jail, my symptoms got progressively worse. I became catatonic, not moving or speaking, and they eventually transferred me to the state hospital, where I was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia.
How did you feel once you were finally diagnosed? Describe the emotions you had when you learned about that diagnosis.
I was a little bit relieved because sometimes I had to explain how I ended up in jail. However, I was also surprised because I heard of the term schizophrenia, but I didn't understand what it meant. And even when I was diagnosed, I could not understand or relate to the stigma. I'm not a violent person. I'm not a criminal. In reality, schizophrenia is a medical condition that's very manageable, and recovery is very possible for everybody. What was scary and what really hurt my self-esteem the most was the thought that I would not be able to work again, because that's a significant part of American society. And I've been working since I was 14 years old.
Is that what happened when you were diagnosed? Did you have to quit your job or change things in your day-to-day life?
No, I work today. I am able to work. I may not work a full-time job, but I am still working. I'm still able to do the things that I enjoy doing. I'm still able to be that active individual in the community, in my position at work, and just enjoy my job, enjoy my livelihood. I'm a certified peer specialist or a peer counselor. I work with people who have similar diagnoses than mine. And so I guide individuals on how to maintain wellness and recovery.
I know that some of your triggers are stress, which is a part of everyone's life. Do you have any helpful strategies to manage stress?
I manage my stress by keeping a routine. Most mornings I journal, I listen to inspirational music and motivational talks. I also recite affirmations to try to stay in a good place, stay focused. And I do this most mornings before I start work. Yes, stress is a part of life. However, I manage my stress by doing the best I can with my stress management and coping skills. Schizophrenia is very manageable. However, we have to be mindful of our personal triggers and our stressors and try to go back to what works for us individually.
And how are you today? Do you feel like you're properly medicated and on the road to where you want to be?
I'm doing well today. I believe I'm on the right medication that's helping me be the best I can be. However, I cannot rely on my medication. I believe that recovery takes a lot of hard work. It's about managing triggers, managing stress, and for me, going to therapy. I'm a strong advocate for therapy. I want people to know that recovery is possible for everybody, and that schizophrenia is not as scary as it seems. Yes, there's a lot of stigma around schizophrenia, a lot of myths, but the more that we talk about it, the more that we learn about schizophrenia and other conditions, the more that we can be more empathetic and understanding.
Ashley, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It means so much to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for having me on this show. It was a great discussion. I appreciate this opportunity to share my recovery experience with everybody. If you want to learn more about me, please visit my blog, Overcoming Schizophrenia. It is overcomingschizophrenia.blogspot.com. And also take a look at my book, Coping Takes Work. Thank you very much. Have a great one.
Have any more questions about mental health or medicine? Too much information on a topic you want simplified? Hit the comments and let me know. Like and subscribe while you're down there. Thanks for watching. See you next time.